several occasions to discuss this whole concept of a collaborative effort between the government and the body that I see as the statutory authority for the real estate sector, being BREA. And so this morning we have agreed to enter into a memorandum of understanding with the Bahamas Real Estate Association, which speaks specifically to the collaborative efforts that will be advanced between BREA and my ministry. And so in large measure there are four main objectives of the Memorandum of Understanding. The primary objective, in my mind's eye that is, BREA may have a different perspective, but the primary objective is where we have identified the need for us to focus on affordable housing. We want to make sure that there is a collaborative effort between the government and the real estate sector through BREA to have a conversation about how we can continue to provide affordable housing for Bahamians. So that is one of the primary goals that I wish to establish from this relationship with BREA. The reality is you represent the developers, you represent those who are in the market for selling homes. You should be the ones telling us, based on what our people can afford, how best we can meet those objectives. And so that is one of the key components of the MOU, where the government begins a dialogue with BREA through a structured framework. One of the other areas in which we will collaborate on is the fact that under the Act it gives us the ability to approve building plots. Those building plots under the Housing Act do not necessarily need to be land owned by the government. You also have access through MLS of all the inventory of available lots, be it in Providence or elsewhere, that have infrastructure already installed, already have subdivision approval, that there is absolutely no reason why we ought not to put that in the mix in terms of lots that we will make available through the Department of Housing with the construction of homes thereon to the thousands of applicants that we have at the Department of Housing. So that's one effort that we also look forward to collaborating with BREA on. And then, in addition to that, we have at the Department of Housing and through the ministry a lot of inventory of lots, particularly in the Family Islands. Inventory that over years have not been sold. And so where those lots have not been sold, we hope to also be able to utilize the members of BREA to make the general public aware of the inventory that we have available for Bahamians to purchase land, particularly in the Family Islands. In addition to that, and having regard to the success that we have had with the environmental conclave, BREA has also agreed to collaborate with the government for a national conclave specifically focused on the interests of the real estate sector, where we will have an opportunity for BREA, its members, and other stakeholders in the real estate market to provide their commentary, suggestions, recommendations on government policy as it affects the real estate sector, as well as legislation. And we all know how the private, the new Subdivision and Planning Act has caused some concern in the real estate market, and I think that this would create a wonderful forum for us to have BREA make its representations formally to government and the various agencies so that we can drive the process forward. And I think the last tenet of the partnership addresses the possibility of BREA collaborating with the government in terms of identifying suitable building locations and facilities to meet the government operational needs. And I think that the Minister for Public Accommodations, the Prime Minister himself, has also spoken about the fact that the government is looking at ensuring that most of its buildings that are unoccupied become occupied so as to preclude us from continuing to pay the significant sums of money we spend on rent And so we're looking for BREA to give us some guidance on how we could achieve that ultimate objective. And so for me, no man is an island, and so too, a government servicing its citizens must include agencies and organizations who have broad membership in developing a true participatory